Good morning, everybody. How y'all doing? Hope you're doing well. Yeah, I haven't done one of these, I don't know what else you call them, bedside chats. um, um, in quite a while. So I figured, hey, why not? So, anyway, let's see here. Let's take those off for a minute. So, anyway, yeah, weather definitely changed last night. When I went out to work, I was mostly out there on the east side of the valley. Started off in Henderson. And when I was down there, I noticed that there was this like wall of sand heading our way, really off the wall. Made for a beautiful sunset, I will say that. But then when I was up on my personal Twitter slash X account, whatever you want to call it, um, this morning I saw Kevin Janison did a post. Kevin Janison is one of our local TV news personalities. And he did a post saying that basically what I had seen last night was sand getting stirred up from the dry lake bed down in Jean and heading in our direction. So yeah, it really and temperatures dropped a little bit. The lowest that I had seen was like 71, 72, according to my dashboard anyway. And yeah, like I said, I was mostly in the area out there in Henderson most of the night, and then shortly after 11, something like that, I got a request to go up to more the direction of Northtown. It's basically east side of Las Vegas, kind of like right there on the border of North Las Vegas or whatever. But anyway, I wound up spending the next couple hours up around there. Holy smokes. Wow, talk about a change, difference. Basically, I did find out it's a cold front that's coming through, and that's what the big weather news story has been all week. So anyway, yeah, when I had to go up the freeway in order to get up there to the 95, and along the way, I just had this feeling that I should close my windows. And I'm so glad that I did because all of a sudden I ran into a wall of sand and dust and so forth. And it came out of nowhere. I don't even know if I would have had enough time to close my windows if I didn't. But, and what was bad is I was behind a semi pulling a trailer, and then there was another one who was like one lane over but behind me, and it just came straight across the freeway. And it was in surprise. I was very surprised that those guys were able to um, hold their trailers together. They weren't swerving all over the road because it was pretty intense with what came across the road. And being up there in Northtown, it was just blowing like you would not believe. I mean, it was blowing down on the south side, don't get me wrong, but it was more intense up there on the north side. So, yeah, it was pretty crazy, but planes were still landing, the helicopters were still flying, and I've been hearing all morning planes taking off. So, if you had plans to come into town this weekend, or especially today, prepare for bumpy landing, basically. But I did see that the temperature, I haven't actually stepped outside yet, but the temperature is 57 degrees. So, and that was only an hour ago. So, huge difference from yesterday. So, yeah. Um, it is very cloudy out, so I'm sure that it's pretty chilly out there. Um, so yeah, pretty intense. Um, also, I noticed that I now have 100 subscribers. We've hit that century mark. Thank you. Appreciate it. Love you guys. I know different people are drawn to this channel for different reasons, and that's part of the point of this. It's just a place to talk, for the most part, about different topics. I know some of you are drawn here to Little Miss Possum, who's down there at the bottom of my feet, keeping warm. I posted some pictures of her over there on the community section of the YouTube channel. So, but yeah, welcome. I appreciate it. I know some of you are drawn here because of the talk about menopause, some about talking about diabetes, some about spirituality, um, some talking, finding out about Vegas updates. So, and whatever comes out on any of these posts, these videos that I do, comes out. So, anywho, yeah, I know I've been mentioning a little bit over the last week about someone that I know. He's a local artist. Well, he's known he's known internationally or whatever, but he's based here in Vegas. Mr. Mandy Lion. His new music is coming out today, or at least his new music video. That's happening at noon, by the way. Completely forgot about that. So yeah, just check in with his Instagram account. It's his handle is Mandy Lion Rock. So yeah, just keep checking in over there. Find out when that happens. So, but yeah, he doesn't really bring out new stuff all too often, but when he does, it's really good stuff. So, um, uh, with what he has posted as so far, basically stills from the video or what have you. Um, I'm 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 excited to see what he is bringing out. Let me see here. Also, of course, the big thing that I've been trying to promote all week. By the way, these promotions that I do are not paid endorsements. I only do endorsements if I believe in them. Um, and, and I most most of the time they don't even know I'm doing them. Okay, it's just something that I do on my own, and I don't get paid or anything like that. Okay, um, I whether whether I would actually be paid or not, either way, I would have to believe in what it is that I'm promoting. I just don't promote just for the sake of money or anything. Um, excuse me. So I wanted to make sure that that is clear as well. Excuse me. Yeah, little bit of irritation in my chest. I'm really quite surprised at how well I'm doing with it all. Could be we haven't had much in the way of pollen this year, or at least this season. Not this year, but this season. Earlier this year, yeah, tons of pollen. But so far this fall season, there hasn't been much. So that could be one of the reasons why I'm not really getting irritated all that much. But it's a little chilly in here with I had the AC turned way down so I could sleep a little bit better. But yeah, the cold air is kind of irritating a little bit. Excuse me. Um, but anyway, yeah, the big thing that I have been promoting all week has been the Renovation Foundation because they're doing a huge fundraiser this weekend starting tomorrow, Saturday, October 19th. It's tomorrow and Sunday, 19th and 20th. Um, and yesterday I mentioned the fundraiser, and the reason why I mentioned as far as hey Vegas, let's get off our dust and let's show up Reno and so forth is because they're based out of Reno. Okay, so yeah, we need to show Reno how it's done. Okay, so yeah, let's show them how it's done. I know that this is with, I've lived here January, end of January, beginning of February will make 20 years. It was actually 20 years ago. Next month was my first time I ever came to Vegas. And I have learned over that time how giving this city really is, how caring it is. And I learned that actually my very first year that I moved here. I was really quite shocked. That was the year that, oh shoot, what was the name of that hurricane that hit that year? It was New Orleans and uh, basically down there in the Gulf states. What was the name of that? Shoot, it's escaping me now. I think it began with a K. Oh crud! I should be ashamed of myself. But anyway, it was total devastation down there and everything. That was back in 2005. The name is escaping me. Oh, shame on me! Shame on me! Um, Drop a line in the comments. The name of that store. Oh, it's gonna escape me. I'm gonna have to Google it. Anyway, yeah, I was really quite shocked to see the outpouring of support, from like the casinos and foundations, and we even sent crews, like um, um, electrical crews and so forth down there. Um, National Guard and so on and so forth down there to assist with the cleanup efforts and so forth. And the amount of money that wound up pouring out to down there from here, I was really quite surprised, because I was a newbie myself. I had my own ideas about Vegas and so forth, just like everybody else and everything. But after living here, I've learned otherwise. So yeah, let's show our support one way or another. Even if you might not be able to do financial support, even if you just it, if you can donate $5 to the organization, find a way to be able to do that or whatever. I know that this past summer with the summer camp, they had Amazon wish lists. So you can always see about doing that later when they do that call to action. Um, and there was something else I was going to mention. Oh, that's the other thing I was going to mention about these activities that they do these fundraisers for. It isn't just about the kids going and having fun. They also provide them with life skills. Like they had morning yoga sessions. They also had silk there. Not the silk milk. Okay, there. Teaching the kids, about diets and so forth. Teaching them about, like how to make smoothies, things like this. Okay, opportunities where I mean, these are kids who are in the foster care system. Okay, and they may not necessarily get the same benefits as what kids living in more of a stable environment might be able to get, as far as those sort of life skills and so forth are concerned. So yeah, it isn't just about them going and getting out of the system for a little bit and having some fun, meeting a celebrity and so on, and all this sort of stuff. It isn't just about that. It's also about them learning some vital life skills as well. Okay, so yeah, that's the reason why. And I'll admit, the reason why, and I had been following them for a while, and the reason why I decided to start. Oops, somebody's coming up to say hi. Hi, mommy. Are you talking to me, mommy? No. So anyway, the reason why I decided, okay, you know what, maybe I should. Yeah, I have been dealing with my own crap for the last year. I'll be the first to admit it. my own health issues and so on and so forth. But I, with this move that I had to do here recently, um, I'll admit it. I'm not living in the best of places, okay, but I'm also extremely grateful that I have some place to live because I very easily could have been living out on the streets. Um, and I'm reminded of that every day. And so, because of it, I'm very, very grateful that I have this place that I'm living in. And yeah, it's a struggle. Um, yeah, my body does not want to work with me very well a lot of the times, but I'm pushing through it. But the thing that is reminding me of, or the reason why I decided to do this, um, is because with where I'm living right now, it does remind me a lot of where I used to live before I moved out here. It was kind of the neighborhood I lived in. It was kind of a mixed bag, people from different walks of life and so forth, but predominantly blue collar. And my house, the house that I was living in, quickly became the neighborhood house for all the kids, primarily because they were all drawn to the fact that we had pet ducks, not dogs, ducks, quack quacks in the backyard. Okay, they were basically leftovers. There she is. They were basically leftovers. I guess I hate using that word, but basically they were unreleasables from when used to do wildlife rehabilitation. They could still live very happy, healthy lives and everything, but they couldn't be released back out into the wild for one reason or another. It is not legal to do that on your own. You do have to have proper licensing. I want to make sure I reiterate that. But the kids, they were drawn to that. Let's face it. If there's ducks around, kids are typically drawn to them for whatever reason. Let's face it, they have great personalities. And they're always fun. But anyway, I know that's the main reason why that kids were drawn to our house. So anyway, yeah, and at first, of course, parents were just like, "Why are my kids hanging out with a bunch of adults?" And then they quickly realized, and if anything, excuse me, they came to realize that if their kid was missing, if they didn't, they could just come over and ask, "Hey, have you seen my kid?" And it's like, "Yeah," or know where they are, and it's like, "Yeah, they said that they were going over to such and such's house. We told them to talk to you, but you know how it works out." Um, and of course, this is still back in the day before parents had a tighter control over their kids and wouldn't even let them go outside and play. Totally wrong as far as I'm concerned. But anyway, and it was the neighborhood. We all knew what streets to avoid, which houses to avoid, and everything. But for the most part, kids, they ran the neighborhood. Still one of those situations where it was fine, no big deal. So in living here, getting back to that, it kind of with because there are families who are living here. I mean, these are one bedroom apartments basically, and but and there's full size families that are here who are also struggling, who are um, making do with what they have, you know, and there's I mean, there's a few of them. There's quite a few of them who live in here, but there's one in particular. I have my apartment faces a courtyard, and across the courtyard is this young family of four, and they have a toddler, about 1 years old, one maybe one and a half, probably closer to one and a half, something like that, And then they have another one who's about 4 years old, something like that. And they're a young couple and everything. They're just struggling. They're just doing what they can. And when they get home from work, they bring the kids outside and they let them run around in the courtyard. The other night, the 4-year-old was running around in their Halloween costume, and I don't know what it was. I'm not up to date on the new trends with kids stuff. I have no idea. At first I thought it may have been Iron Man. I had no idea. But then I realized when they put the mask on, I was like, yeah, that's not Iron Man. I have no idea what it is. So, but yeah, it just, with seeing, that and everything, takes me back to where I used to live before I moved out here. And that, I guess, that nostalgia or what have you. And I'm just like, this is the reason why that organization was founded. That's the reason. Because it's because of kids like that. Kids who are disadvantaged, who may not, who are coming from either families who are basically struggling, family, or kids who are stuck in the system for one reason or another. Um, it's basically, that's what the foundation is about, and that's in seeing that, and of course, seeing the older kids playing and so forth. I was coming home from work the other night, and there was some older kids. They live on the back side of me in one of the upper apartments, and they were just out there. I mean, we're talking middle of the night, hooting and hollering and so forth. I'm sure they were keeping people awake or whatever, but they were just having fun. They were playing with their dog, and they wound up out here for a little bit and so forth too. But it's like they were just having fun. It was no, it wasn't they weren't causing, you know, they weren't causing. Well, yeah, they were causing commotion, but it wasn't they weren't getting into trouble. They weren't going around throwing rocks, breaking windows, breaking into cars, or anything like that. They were just having fun. That's all it was. you know and it's been nice to be reminded of all of that. And so I feel that, yeah, even though my circumstances, it's been, I don't want to say traumatizing, but it's been challenging. It's also been very good for me. It's been a very good step backwards. I guess you could. I don't feel like I'm taking a step backwards. I feel like I'm taking steps forward. I feel like because I'm finally being able to get back on my feet, be on my own. And I'm realizing, I'm remembering past parts of myself that I have forgotten, that as I've gotten so wrapped up in things with my life, me, myself, and I, basically. Yeah, I'll admit it. Um, but it's I feel that I'm taking the steps forward that I want to be taking. That's what I feel. And I'm extremely grateful to be having these opportunities, these lessons, and for all of this growth, and to grow into the person that I really want to be. So that's the reason why I decided I'm going to promote this organization, because I remember with the kids that I used to mentor back back home, back in Virginia, where I am from, basically, where I spent most of my life before moving out here, I basically. Um, and that's the sort of person that I want to be. And I want to, I want to be able to promote positivity like this. You know, even if can't support financially, you can always support in other ways. So in that way, the message can get out to the people who can support financially. There's always different ways to be able to support, even whether it's just something like this, or just promoting, or actually going and volunteering. And I'm not saying, necessarily just with this organization. If you have a passion for animals, going to an animal shelter. If you have a passion for helping the homeless, doing even more so than just going to a soup kitchen. Or if that's all you can do is go to a soup kitchen, or just going and out on the streets and just talking to some of these people. They're everywhere. I drive through the encampments every single night. Or if I'm not driving through the encampments, I'm running into homeless people. Even in some of the nicest neighborhoods you could ever possibly see, I'll see a homeless person in the area. And I do have a passion for help, for wanting to help these people as well, because we're not just talking adults here. We're talking about kids who are living in these conditions. If you really want to know what it really looks like, yeah, I have some encampments right here close to where I'm at. But if you want to see the real nitty gritty of it, just go north of downtown Fremont Street, right there around where the homeless shelters are. There are encampments around there because they have no choice, because there's no space available in those shelters. They can't, and they're sleeping on the sidewalks. They're sleeping in the cemetery. That's right there. And those, I mean, we're talking people in wheelchairs, we're talking kids, and everything, people who are disabled and so forth. And especially this one encampment, it's kind of like a little bit north and west of the downtown Fremont Street area. It's like a loop, a S curve loop. That one is probably the worst out of them all. It's solitary, and police don't really patrol through there all that much even. And and with things that you see, we're talking a mixture of people who just wound up getting down on their luck, and there's also people who are clinically insane. I see people like this one person one night, this lady, she was walking down the street yelling her head off, stark naked. It's people like this who are out there, or there's no room left in psychiatric institutes, and they get booted out. Where else are they going to go? You know? So this is what I'm talking about. And unfortunately, I'm seeing more and more articles coming out where it's like, okay, the city is going to do or the city or the county is going to be doing these referendums, to um, uh, break up encampments and or you know curb the homeless problem, prevent people from being able to sleep on sidewalks and so forth. Where are these people supposed to go? Especially if they don't have any family or what have you, and the system is so backlogged. And then we wonder why kids are winding up in the system. It's because of crap like this that keeps happening. At least the parents are caring enough to surrender their kids to the system so that way they don't have to be sleeping in these conditions. If you really do care about these sort of circumstances, these organizations and so forth, really find out, get to the nitty gritty. I witness it every single night that I work. And it breaks my heart. And that's one of the reasons why I feel that organizations like this are so important, because unfortunately the system that is out there, the government system that's out there, is broken because of due to lack of funding. And if we can help to promote organizations like this to help keep kids out of those sorts of situations, then it's worth it. Then it's worth it. Because just telling somebody, oh, when they get down on their luck, just telling somebody, oh, just go and get some help. Guess what, folks? The help is not out there because there's no money available. I'm going to leave you with those thoughts. All right? So next time you're in town, head on over there and you'll see what I'm talking about. All right? I love you guys. Or if you're a local and you want a tour, get up with me. I'll be more than happy to take you over there. All right? Or even if you're just visiting town, I'll be more than happy to take you over there, show you what I'm talking about. All right? I love you guys. I'll talk to you all soon.